Namaste friends, my name is Amit Garg. Welcome to my channel, Vedic Astro Amit. Today we'll talk about this major shift, a big transit. This is a long transit of Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. Rahu has been in Revati, and that's a very different energy. So this is going to be a big shift. Everyone will feel this. So Rahu will be moving from to Uttar Bhadrapad on July 5th, and it'll remain there for 7.5 months. So we'll look at what this means, Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. First of all, a big thank you to all our members who've taken the paid membership. There are 3 different tiers: gold, silver, gold, and diamond. And we send out exclusive videos for members. So if you're interested, you can become a YouTube member by clicking the join button on the video, on any of my videos. So let's discuss what this means. We'll try to understand the energy of Uttar Bhadrapad, what the nakshatra means. And then we'll understand Rahu, and then we'll combine these two and see what impact might be there for all of the 12 rising signs. So this intro section is very important. So listen to this intro section completely and then go to your rising sign. First of all, Uttar Bhadrapad. Okay, what is the symbol? The symbol of Uttar Bhadrapad is the hind legs of funeral cot, the back legs of a funeral cot. So that represents the final journey of life. Okay, so this is basically a transition from the physical reality to the spiritual realm and starting to establish the connection with the afterlife. So as you can see, this is a very, very different energy versus Revati. Rahu moves backwards always so Rahu has been in Revati, that's the 27th, the last nakshatra, and now it's moving back. It'll be moving back to Uttar Bhadrapad, that's the 26th nakshatra on July 5th. Next, the deity. Deity for Uttar Bhadrapad is Ahir Budhanya. Ahir Budhanya is known as the serpent of the deep ocean. Okay, so it symbolizes the mysteries of the subconscious mind, the mysteries of the underworld. Ahir Budhanya is the divine serpent, and sometimes it's also associated with Sheshnag. So it's a very, very auspicious divine energy. And Uttar Bhadrapad, because of this connection with Sheshanag, it's also considered very big on protection, because Ahir Budhanya is the guardian of the treasures. We have these, pearls and treasures, all of these at the base of the ocean, bottom of the ocean. So that's what Ahir Budhanya safeguards. So the protection is a very big theme with Uttar Bhadrapad. And this nakshatra is very much interested in deep inquiry, deep exploration, essentially awakening the Kundalini, awakening the hidden talents, and a lot of research. Of course, occult sciences, the investigation, deep spirituality, even other things such as archaeology or digging through the earth, finding the oil, all of that exploration, and anything to do with the bottom of the ocean. So deep sea exploration. So that's a very, very big theme. So we'll see. So there's a big emphasis on water bodies. So we'll see a lot of activity around the oceans and exploration in the water bodies. And because it's the serpent of the deep seas, there'll be a fascination with the unseen and unexpected aspects of life. So those are all hidden things, right? So we may be, as a humanity, because Rahu will be in Uttar Bhadrapad for everyone, right? So we may be drawn to mysteries and even hidden and secret societies. So that will become more popular. We may be more interested in ancient civilizations, the traditional civilizations, and anything that lies beyond the ordinary three-dimensional plane of existence. Now, what does Rahu, bring in? Rahu's influence. So Rahu is innovation. Rahu is unconventional. Rahu always have unique ways of doing things. Okay, so Rahu is very creative also. And so now Rahu combined with Uttar Bhadrapad, there could be a lot of emotional turmoil because Uttar Bhadrapad is deep searching and secrets, and then Rahu is unconventional. So there could be a lot of water energy, a lot of emotional turmoil. There could be a lot of illusions because anyway, Ahir Budhan is bottom of the ocean. There is no light there, and Rahu is illusion. So there could be a lot of misunderstandings. There could be a lot of illusion, this Maya. And then there'll be big theme of unpredictability. It'll be hard, or you could see sudden results or sudden changes. But there will be an obsession, you can say, with spiritual activities, spiritual pursuits. And that may be to an extreme that people may be, as you know, having a tendency of escapism or withdrawal from practical responsibility. So they'll be more into their la la land. There could also be a lot of tantra healing, very deep, esoteric tantra healing. But one caution is big caution. There could be a lot of scandals. See, the energy of Revati was very different. But now the energy of Uttar Bhadrapad will be totally different because Uttar Bhadrapad is shrouded in secrecy and deep hidden stuff. So we might see a lot of scandals come to surface, or a lot of scandalous things happening, which may still be unknown to us because of this Maya illusion of Rahu. But now see, Rahu is fearless. Okay, so Rahu is fearless, and that means at the bottom of the ocean, Rahu will not have any inhibitions in going deep and finding out the secrets of the universe, right? So that means this is a perfect time to dive deep into esoteric wisdom. And then Rahu is always moving. Okay, Rahu is movement. Rahu cannot sit still. But Uttar Bhadrapad has a very stable energy. It's a very, almost like a stationary energy. It's very wise. It wants to think through things. So there's kind of a clash. So what will happen is Rahu cannot sit still. Rahu has to do something, movement, but Rahu is fearless. And so if we combine these two energies, that means uh, Rahu has only one direction to go to, within. Okay, so because Uttar Bhadrapad is spiritual energy, it's research, figuring out the secrets of the universe. That is Uttar Bhadrapad. Rahu is movement and fearless, and a desire also to find out things as well, new things, new experiences, new innovation. So we'll see this deep exploration. The whole focus will be to go within. And the more we do that, the more rewards we'll get of this transit. So now to give you example of some famous people who have Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. First of all, this combination you'll see in a lot of um, movie stars or especially directors. So one of the biggest examples I found was Chantal Akerman. She's a French director, and she directed more than 40 movies, very prominent ones. So this Rahu Uttar Bhadrapad, this secrecy, this illusion, and this is a very mature nakshatra. So this gives you this knack for like doing things behind the scenes. Directing movies is a very clear, this very strong quality of this placement. The other famous example is Osho, Rajneesh Bhagwan. He has a Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad in his 11th house, and that's he reached the masses. Rahu in 11th house gives you access to the masses, but deep spiritual exploration and very unconventional ways of doing that. That was Osho's life. And then other example is Desmond Tutu. So he, in fact, has Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad in his 10th house. So that is his career. And he was a priest, and then he became a bishop. So he was the Archbishop of Cape Town, South Africa, for 10 years, for 1986 to 1996. And he was the first Black person to hold the highest position in the South African Anglican Church. So, and he had the Nobel Peace Prize. He was the fighter for equality and justice, lots of international awards and honors. So very different, unconventional personalities you'll see. But these people have some high purpose, higher purpose. They're very interested in deep spirituality and doing different unconventional things, but finding the secrets of the universe. Very uh, you will see they will do huge projects in their life, big initiatives and big projects, achieve big things in their lives. So now we'll see for each of the 12 rising signs. And because this is just one placement, Rahu is still in the sign of Pisces, so I'm not going to show the charts. It's just a simple, we'll go over all the 12 rising signs. First of all, the sign of Aries, Aries rising, Aries Lagna, Mesh Lagna. And so for Mesh Lagna, Aries rising, this is taking place in your 12th house. So now you'll see a huge shift in your life. Until now, so Rahu has been in Revati Nakshatra. That is 12th house, means could be a lot of daydreaming, just lost in your dreams. That is the energy of Revati. And Revati is in Vimshotri Dasha system ruled by Mercury. And so that was the combination of Rahu and Mercury. And so literally for Aries Lagna, uh, the 12th house was activated with Revati, which is all about imagination and lost in your plans and dreams, daydreaming, but not doing anything practically. Now, Rahu will be entering Uttar Bhadrapad, July 5th. This will be the energy of Rahu and Shani. Earlier it was Rahu and Mercury. Rahu and Shani will make you do things. See, Rahu will be all dreaming about big plans and big things. Now, what kind of things we'll discuss, but big plans. And then Saturn is the planet of execution. Saturn is practical, literally on the ground. What things can we do? How we can achieve that? What strategy we have? So with respect to your 12th house matters, which is deep spiritual exploration. So that's what Rahu in Uttara Bhadrapada, very introspective nature. Uh, and you'll want to understand the mystery and uncovering the truths, the hidden truths, but also you'll be undergoing personal transformation. So there'll be huge spiritual intensity. There'll be lots of mystical experiences. There'll be fascination with occult sciences, and this is a great time to start learning all of these esoteric sciences, energy healing, astrology, Ayurveda, metaphysics, and spiritual practices. There'll be also strong attraction towards foreign lands, foreign countries. Exploration is the key word because Revati was a different energy, but now Uttar Bhadrapad is very deep exploration. And you could also travel a lot, distant foreign travel, studies abroad, those things are possible. But there'll also be a lot of isolation and solitude. So you'll be doing a lot of introspective activities. You could go to retreats. You could spend time at the ashrams, literally monasteries, or just a personal preference for, staying by yourself. Solitude, you'll value solitude, and Saturn especially will give you this energy, this inclination to on your own. And doing things that are important for the long-term planning and making strategy. There could you could have mystical dreams, and there could be a lot of intuition. So focus on the lucid dreaming and focus on yoga nidra. Practice those things. So your intuition, your subconscious mind, all that will be activated. So there'll be a lot of transformative experiences. So this is the period where it's like unknown things will come to surface. And there could also be a lot of hidden desires, and a lot of unfounded fears could be there as well. So those will come to surface now, possibly. So you may need to confront them and understand the deeper reasoning and the source of all those. So that's the energy. And also Saturn now. See, Rahu in Revati, you may have experienced a lot of financial expenses or even losses. Now the energy of Uttar Bhadrapad, there'll be more strategy, there'll be more control over your finances. There won't be like unplanned expenses. Okay, so Saturn, the Shani energy of Uttar Bhadrapad, along with Rahu in the 12th house, will help you restrict your financial losses or extra expenses. So that's a very positive change. But the key is you'll still focus on big projects, big ideas, big goals related to your 12th house, which is maybe foreign travel, connection with the foreigners for your work, uh, diving deep into spirituality. So literally, this is the time for awakening the Kundalini, because Uttar Bhadrapada is the serpent of the deep seas. That's what we call Kundalini as well. You know, at the base of the spine, at the bottom of your spine, this energy um, of the serpent, the Kundalini. So this is a perfect time for you to literally awaken your Kundalini, and also you will take practical steps. You'll actually execute your projects, your ideas during this transit. It's a very long transit, 7.5 months, a very, very significant one. So make use of this wonderful, deep spiritual energy, deep exploration with Rahu in Uttara Bhadrapada. Watch the intro section. Very, very important, very useful information there. And also, if you haven't already, think of becoming a YouTube member where we have more exclusive videos. And also, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Next is Taurus rising, Vrishab Lagna. So for Taurus rising, this transit is taking place in your 11th house. It's a major shift, major transit that'll last for 7.5 months. And this is going to shift a lot of things for everybody. For Taurus, this is impacting 11th house because Rahu has been in Revati until July 5th. And then it'll go to Uttar Bhadrapad. So there's a very, very different energy, Rahu in Revati versus Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. Watch the intersection where a lot of useful information is there that'll help you understand better. First of all, Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad, you'll see unconventional gains. So this is all 11th house is about our gains, income. So you'll have a lot of income. This will bring financial gains, but those will be through very unconventional means. Rahu is unconventional, and those will be through intuition, through deep knowledge and wisdom and spiritual insights. That's what Uttar Bhadrapad, Ahirbudanya, the deity. So it'll be very interesting to see how you can manifest your wealth and abundance, but using more spiritual means. This will be a period when you'll see a very transformative social networks, like your social circle will include more spiritual people, that could actually undergo a big shift. And that will also lead to your personal growth. So that will, in a way, give you gains. Your social network will be very spiritual, and that'll give you gains in terms of personal development. And then you'll have more spiritual ambitions. Your desires will be more. So there'll be this interesting, you can even say conflicting, pull. One is towards material gains, which is Rahu, but then it's actually being contained and controlled in Uttar Bhadrapad with this huge spiritual energy, spiritual intent. So you'll balance this material and spiritual aspects, but as I mentioned, they'll be focused on gaining a lot of wealth through spiritual means. Then Rahu in the 11th house. In Uttar Bhadrapad, you'll also have a lot of innovative and intuitive ideas. Now, Rahu in Revati was a different energy where you were probably daydreaming, oh, we can change the world, we can do these huge, big things. But Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad has energy of Shani. And so you will actually execute those ideas. You may have had a lot of intuition and deep insights while Rahu has been in Revati. So now is the time when you'll execute those ideas. So you'll have a lot of these. You may still have new ideas coming up all the time. Rahu in the 11th house, how you can help the humanity, but there'll be a lot of like futuristic and metaphysical ways of helping the humanity. So the focus will also be on developing a strategy and executing things on the ground. And Rahu in Revati would have given you this more playful attitude towards money because Mercury is connected with Revati. And so you may have been more careless or not so mature in dealing with your finances. But now Rahu in Uttara Bhadrapada, you'll have the maturity, you'll have this long-term strategy and planning how to deal with your finances, because this is the combination Rahu and Shani. So this will be a wonderful time for financial management. You'll be very good at managing your finances for the long term, but also in very unconventional ways, with deep spirituality in mind. Be careful, there could be issues with your older siblings. That is 11th house, because unless they are on the spiritual path as well, which they might be, but they may, there may be issues with misunderstanding or miscommunication, or just you may seem very aloof or, uh, you know, self-centered to your older siblings. So be careful not to have any of these misunderstandings. So that's for the sign of Taurus. Next is the sign of Gemini, Gemini rising, Mithun Lagna. So for Mithun Lagna, Gemini rising, Gemini ascendant, Rahu will be transiting through your 10th house. And it has been in the sign of Pisces. Rahu has been in your 10th house, but it has been in the Nakshatra of Revati. So now, starting July 5th, Rahu will enter Uttara Bhadrapada. That'll be a big, big shift for your career. Rahu in Revati has energy of Rahu and Mercury, whereas Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad will give you the energy of Rahu plus Saturn. Watch the intro section. Lots of useful information that'll help you understand this transit much better. So now Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad will give you the discipline. This is more like, you can think of Shani sitting in your 10th house as well, along with Rahu. So you'll be more disciplined. There'll be still a lot of unconventional, energy in your career. So you'll have very different or unconventional ways of doing things at work, or completely change or transform your career into something, very different kind of a field: psychology, metaphysics, research, spirituality, any of that. And you may become a very innovative leader. See, Saturn is top management, and Rahu is unconventional and innovation. And so this could literally make you very innovative and an unconventional type of a leader, who is thinking long term, but you'll have a lot of spiritual ambitions. So this will really help you put on the path of deep spiritual exploration when it comes to your career. There could also be some foreign elements. In your career, you may incorporate foreign people, but also interaction with the foreign cultures and diverse group of people, and how they can help you with your career, or they'll literally give you opportunities for in your career, but also travel abroad. Global connections will be there. This will also bring public recognition, and your reputation will improve, especially if you're doing things in the non-traditional way. You're on a non-traditional path, and so this will give you big recognition for being unconventional type of a leader. So this may bring changes, ups and downs in career, right? Because it's the Rahu is acting here. But one caution is, try not to be over ambitious or stress yourself too much, stress out too much. There could be potential burnout. Okay, because Rahu Saturn, it's kind of like all work and no play. So there could be work, 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 work. Yes, this will give you results. Saturn will make things happen on the ground. You'll achieve good results and success, but make sure you don't ignore your 4th house, the home life. That is where Ketu is transiting. So important to take breaks and take it easy, to take proper rest as well. You may also face some ethical dilemmas, okay, because there could be some this desire or inclination to do some unethical work, because Rahu is here, illusion. And so make sure your professional actions, they're aligned with your moral and spiritual values. And there could be some scandals as well, people working behind your backs, or backbiting, or just general things that you may not be aware of. So that's very important. Keep an eye out for that. But literally, this is like awakening the Kundalini. That's Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. So that's taking place in your 10th house. So it will give you huge surge of energy, ideas, and unconventional ways of doing things, but you'll think big, think huge projects, big goals, and that was also the case until Rahu has been in Revati, but now you'll implement those ideas. So continue to think big, and you'll rise and shine in your career. Next is Cancer rising, Karka Lagna. So for Cancer ascendant people, Rahu will be in your ninth house. So Rahu is in sign of Pisces. In Uttara Bhadrapada, they'll be transiting through your ninth house. Rahu has been in your ninth house. It's been in Pisces for a while, since last year, last November, but it's been in the Nakshatra of Revati. So now this big transit, big shift, huge change in energy, starting July 5th, for the next 7.5 months. So Uttar Bhadrapad is a very deep spiritual nakshatra. Watch the intersection, very useful information there. First thing that might happen is you will be challenging any traditional beliefs. So you won't be satisfied with the traditional belief system, or the philosophical beliefs that people carry. So you may have your own unique and individualized belief system that could be very different from other people. So that's very much possible. Secondly, your relationship with your spiritual mentors or guides or gurus could be very unconventional, or you may seek unconventional gurus, unique, non-traditional gurus or non-traditional sources of wisdom. Or third thing is, you yourself may become a very unconventional teacher, a guide, a guru. So this is an excellent time for you to rise and shine and share your wisdom. Have spiritual discussions with the gurus, with your sangha, but also share your wisdom as a guru yourself. You could be a very unconventional guru, but one who has a really deep spiritual wisdom, not this superficial. See, because huge shift is happening right now. What's happening is Rahu has been in Revati, which is more like the energy of Mercury. Mercury is more about knowledge, not so much digested wisdom. Whereas Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad will have energy of Saturn, which is more about maturity and authenticity and truth and deep wisdom. So you'll have a real wisdom now. So there's a very, very spiritually transformative shift happening for you for the next 7.5 months. Even in terms of higher learning, ninth house represents higher educations like PhD or any higher education programs. You will seek innovative learning. You will seek higher education knowledge that is non-traditional, unconventional methods of teaching or unconventional subjects or unconventional teachers, as I mentioned, but also in terms of the higher education. There'll also be very big emphasis on travel, long distance travel, even could be foreign travel as well, but travel seeking maturity, seeking the ultimate truth, that is Uttar Bhadrapad, because the symbol is the hind legs of a funeral cart. So you'll have huge itch or urge to figure out the ultimate reality, the ultimate truth. You won't be satisfied with superficial knowledge, so you may have this desire to travel, long distance, travel a lot of distance to figure out the real truth, secret of our existence. Now, one caution is there could be conflicts with the authority, conflicts with your superiors, with your gurus, and you may also feel very overambitious in seeking these things or learning these things. So try to have a balance, and also try not to have any conflicts, or there could be like ethical dilemmas also, right? So with Rahu in the ninth house, anyway, challenges everything, all the belief system. But with Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad, you'll be very disciplined in figuring out your belief system. It won't be all over the place, which has been the case with Rahu in Revati. But still, this is the time for you to rise and shine, and also think big, big projects, big ideas, big goals with respect to your belief system, with respect to your learning and higher wisdom. That's Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. Next is the rising sign of Leo. Leo rising, Leo ascendant, Simba Lagna. For Leo people, Rahu is transiting through your eighth house. Rahu has been in Revati for a while, and it will transition to Uttar Bhadrapad Nakshatra starting July 5th. This is a major transit happening for you. Eighth house is the house of change and transformation, and some say death also. First of all, you'll be thinking about death and afterlife because the symbol of Uttara Bhadrapada is the hind legs of a funeral cot. Watch the intersection, very interesting and useful information there. You'll get a much better idea of this transit if you do that. And so you will be thinking about, what happens after death or the whole process of death because eighth house is change transformation, eighth house is death, and the symbol of Uttar Bhadrapad is a funeral cot, the hind legs of funeral cot. So uh, Shavasana and Yoga Nidra and all of these guided meditations will be excellent remedy for you to channelize this massive energy. This is very powerful energy, very positive for spiritual development, for detachment, for understanding that we are not permanent. Nothing is permanent. So you'll have this intense desire for transformation, for change, and understanding the secrets of the universe. Because Ahirbudhanya, the deity of Uttara Bhadrapad, is all about. Uh, First of all, he is the serpent of the deep seas, and eighth house is like the bottom of the ocean, literally. And so there's a deep connection, deep synergy between Uttar Bhadrapad and Rahu in Uttara Bhadrapad and the eighth house. And so you'll want to explore deep secrets. And then secondly, you'll actually do that in a very mature fashion. Rahu in Revati was more like daydreaming, whereas Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad has more energy of Saturn. So that means you'll actually make things happen. So whatever ideas you've had, whatever things you've been dreaming about, or all this energy work you might have been doing, now this will give you results. So any guided meditation, anything you do, any meditations you do, now will give you results, but it'll give you results in unconventional ways. The other thing is, eighth house represents shared resources, shared finances. So you'll have unconventional ways of gaining money. That could include inheritance, insurance, joint ventures, all of those. You'll think very deeply how you can have unexpected financial gains, like literally money falling in your lap, winning a lottery, that kind of thing. There could be windfall of money. But think big, big projects. That's Rahu. Uh, at the same time, this could be a very intense period. Emotional experiences could be there. Very intense emotional ups and downs. Emotional experiences might be there. So you got to be careful and stay cheerful. And uh, you may have tendency to go into your hood and isolate yourself. Try not to do that. Yes, you can do lots of spiritual work if you're on that path. You're happy, and isolation doesn't bother you. Then that's great. But otherwise, there could be a lot of emotional churning happening. So you can surround yourself with friends and family. But you'll have this like obsession with deep spiritual research and finding out the secrets of the universe. Literally, that's eighth house. And Ahir Budhanya, the deity of Uttara Bhadrapad, will give you all the strength and wisdom uh, to to learn the secrets of the universe. Next is the sign of Virgo. Virgo rising, Virgo Lagna, Virgo ascendant, Kanya Lagna. So for Virgo, Rahu is transiting through your seventh house, which is sign of Pisces, but now it will transition from Revati Nakshatra to Uttar Bhadrapad. Revati is a very different energy, more connected with Mercury. Uttar Bhadrapad in Vimshottari Dasha system, it's ruled by Saturn. So now you'll see the energy of Rahu and Saturn in your seventh house. So this will bring huge changes in your relationships. Watch the intersection first if you haven't already. Will give you a lot of additional insights. First of all, this will give you unconventional relationships. Now, that's been the case ever since Rahu entered your seventh house in last October, November. But the big shift that's happening now when Rahu enters Uttar Bhadrapad is that those unconventional relationships will have more spiritual foundation. Until now, Rahu in Revati energy of Mercury, and Mercury in relationships, it's Mercury is actually you know, could be a very flexible planet when it comes to relationships, a very frivolous relationship, very fast-moving planet. So lots of relationships, multiple partners, things like that could have been possible. But now Rahu and Uttara Bhadrapad will give you stability in relationship because that's has the energy of Shani. Shani is stability and one partner, but still unconventional. But you'll look at relationships in much more mature fashion, strategically, as in, uh, make your relationship more stable, but very deep spiritual inclination. That is Ahir Budhanya, is the deity of Uttar Bhadrapad. You'll want to discover, what is the foundation of your relationship, how you can grow yourself and grow as a couple, as a partner, in your relationship. So you can say there'll be like deep and transformative partnerships, and those, whether romantic partnerships or business partnerships, they may push you to explore deeper aspects of yourself and your partner. So you'll see a huge change and transformation in your partnership. So, and then in general, you will attract more spiritual and mystical connections. So there'll be attraction or liking towards more spiritual connections rather than more frivolous connections, which has been the case with Rahu in Mercury. I'm sorry, Rahu in Revati, which has the energy of Mercury. Now, one caution is there could be potential for hidden motives when it comes to relationships, okay? Because both Rahu is deception and an illusion, and Uttar Bhadrapad, ruled by Ahir Budhanya, that is all the deep ocean stuff, very mystical and hidden and secretive. So be careful. There could be deception in relationships. There could be hidden, agenda. So it's important to build trust and maintain transparency with your partner in your relationship. Be very clear and open, but you can have a very solid spiritual foundation. Now, Rahu in general is a very independent planet, right? And then Ahir Budhanya again is very isolating, like at the bottom of the ocean, the ruler of the deep seas. So you may have to balance this independence with the need for partnership. Okay, so don't ignore your partner. Don't just go alone. Yes, if you don't have a partner, if you're single, that's great. You can go very deep, but if you have a partner, if you're in a relationship, make sure you don't uh, ignore the needs and the wishes of your partner. There could also be a power struggle in your partnerships, in your relationships. So you have to manage those very carefully. You may need to compromise at times, so that's okay. There could also be deception or misunderstanding in your partnership. So clear communication is very important. But this is the time for real awakening, literally awakening the Kundalini. That's what Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. So you could do that with your partner. Both of you can also just stay positive because there could be unfounded fears because Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad with respect to your relationships. But overall, very spiritual energy in your relationships and unconventional, and there could be a lot of change and transformation, but there'll be more maturity, more, focus on a stable long-term relationship, which could be unconventional but very spiritual uh, in in uh, in nature. So that's the transit for Virgo rising Kanya Lagna. Next is the sign of Libra. Libra rising, Tula Lagna, Libra ascendant. So for Libra, Rahu has been transiting through your sixth house in the sign of Pisces, but it has been in the nakshatra of Revati. So now, starting July 5th, it'll move over to the nakshatra of Uttara Bhadrapad. A big shift, big change, because Revati has more energy of Mercury and it's more about imagination and daydreaming and making plans. But Uttar Bhadrapad is a very, very mature nakshatra ruled by Ahir Budhanya, who's the god of the deep seas. And it's a very spiritual nakshatra. So these 7.5 months, July through February 2025, you'll see a big shift, Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. Watch the intro section. We discussed a lot of interesting and very useful information about this transit. So, Libra rising, first of all, you'll find very innovative solutions to problems. Okay, so those problems could be your inner weaknesses, your Shadripus, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. Those 6 weaknesses, you may find wonderful, innovative, unconventional solutions to overcome your own weaknesses, but also dealing with the enemies, external obstacles, external problems. That is sixth house. You'll find very innovative solutions for that as well. Now, Rahu in the sixth house makes you a fighter. You will not lose the battle. Rahu will not let you lose while it's sitting in your sixth house. Of course, you have to look at the your natal chart also, but in general, this transit will give you a lot of power to fight the external enemies. But now you will use spiritual means, okay? Because Uttar Bhadrapad is a very, very spiritual nakshatra. So that's how you'll deal with your enemies, is in a very spiritual manner. And secondly, in a very mature fashion. Rahu in Revati has more, childish, or could be more, you can even say immature kind of energy that's always daydreaming, but not so much action. Whereas Rahu in Uttara Bhadrapada will take action, but in a very mature fashion, not like a, uh, um, you know, not as an immature person. So the this is the combination of Rahu and Saturn, literally sitting in your sixth house. So you'll be a fighter. Excellent time to sit for exams, to take care of any competitive things, competitive issues with your enemies, with your external obstacles. Secondly, you'll have a very spiritual approach to your health. You'll explore alternative healing methods to address any health issues. Things like yoga, meditation, holistic treatments. Those you'll pursue a lot, and the healing will be very powerful because Ahir Budhanya is the god of the deep seas. So all the herbs and Amrita, all these healing modalities that originate from water, from the oceans, from the depth of the ocean. So those you'll discover a very powerful time. You'll heal yourself. Be careful, you might encounter hidden competitors, hidden enemies and hidden obstacles. So that's because Rahu is illusion, and Budhan is still is the deep seas. So you got to be careful and use your intuition, use your logic also. You'll also have big inclination to serve people at a very deep spiritual level. Like you could be counseling, like long-term help, like not just giving the fish to people, teaching them how to fish, or making them become self-reliant. So at a very deep level, and so that will bring transformation for you as well. So your engagement in service and daily work can lead to significant personal transformation and spiritual growth. The other thing is your daily routine, dinacharya, will undergo a big shift. You'll have a very organized, systematic, strategic way of doing things. So your dinacharya, your daily routine will be very structured. So you'll focus on doing things on a regular, on a daily basis. At your job also, if you have a 9 to 5 kind of a job, that's a sixth house, you'll find unconventional ways, but also very deep spiritual ways of dealing with obstacles, or you'll make progress. So think big projects, big ideas, but literally this will awaken your Kundalini with respect to your sixth house matters. So you'll have huge, energy for your work, for serving other people, for taking care of your health, taking care of your daily routine, and also you may have unfounded fears about your health, which you can deal by doing remedies for Rahu. You can do oil massage, you can walk at the ocean, spend time at the ocean, and do mantras for Durga. So those are some of the remedies you can do. But overall, excellent time for all of your sixth house matters. Next is the Scorpio rising, Scorpio Lagna, Scorpio Ascendant, Vrishchik Lagna. So for Vrishchik people, Rahu will be transiting through your fifth house. It's been transiting in your fifth house in the sign of Pisces since last November 2023. But it has been in the nakshatra of Revati. Now it's going into the nakshatra of Uttara Bhadrapad starting July 5th. This will be a massive change. This will bring the energy of Rahu and Saturn in your fifth house versus the energy of Rahu and Mercury, which was the case with Rahu in Revati Nakshatra. So first of all, this may bring a lot of emotional intensity in your relationship, in your romantic relationships. There could be a lot of change, transformation. There could be power struggles. There could be big emphasis on spiritual foundation. So you'll probably look for a spiritual or for a romantic partner who's more spiritual, but still could be an element of unconventional nature in your romantic relationships. You may find spiritual ways of making investments. So like stock market and stuff, you will be more inclined in doing ethical investment. Okay, but still be careful that there could be hidden things. There could be mysteries. There could be secrets that you may not be seeing on the surface. So that's Rahu in Uttara Bhadrapada. So in terms of investment, stock market, be very, very careful that you're not missing the whole picture, the big picture. But you'll find unconventional and very spiritual ways of doing investments and speculation and taking speculative risks. Then a fifth house is your children also. So children, disciples, or anybody like subordinates, all of that is fifth house. So you'll have unconventional relationship with your children during this time, but very spiritual foundation, a lot of change, transformation um, uh, in the life of your children or with respect to your relationship with your children. This is a very powerful opportunity for a spiritual awakening, awakening the Kundalini with respect to your fifth house matters. So, a great time to introduce your children to spirituality, or if they're already on the path, do more spiritual things, more retreats. Same thing with the romantic partner. And then also, fifth house is mantra shastra. So, doing lots of chanting and mantras that will activate the energy of Uttara Bhadrapada. You'll discover the secrets of the universe through mantra shastra. But Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. So until now, Rahu in Revati, you may have been making plans, big plans about your children or anything related to the fifth house. Now those plans will materialize. Uttar Bhadrapad has energy of Shani, so things will be executed on the ground. But still have big projects in your mind, big ideas. Think big, and those things will materialize now with respect to your fifth house. Next is the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius, rising, Lagna, ascendant, Dhanu Lagna. Okay. Next is the sign of Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius, for Dhanu Lagna, this transit is taking place in your fourth house in the sign of Pisces. Rahu has been in Revati Nakshatra since last November 2023, but now it's entering on July 5th, it's entering the Nakshatra of Uttara Bhadrapada. Big, huge shift. Complete shift in energy, even though it's still in the sign of Pisces, but Uttar Bhadrapad has more energy of Shani and Ahir Budhanya. Watch the intersection to understand the deeper meaning and very useful information. And so now we'll see, first of all, the big thing happening for Dhanu Lagna is you'll have, one of the big recommendation for you is create a very spiritual home environment. Okay, because Ahir Budhanya is a very deeply spiritual deity for Uttar Bhadrapad. So you'll find deep spiritual transformation, answers to your deep questions in your home, in your place of residence. So make sure your place of residence has this energy like a ashram, like a retreat center. So you'll gain a lot of spiritual wisdom there. You'll discover the pearls of wisdom. Also, you'll discover hidden ancestral blessings or connection with your ancestors. This will completely activate that because fourth house with Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad, it'll give you all the energy, and even in unconventional ways, you'll discover your ancestry, connection with your ancestors. This may also have a very deeply transformational effect on your mother or your relationship with your mother. This may actually you may develop more spiritual relationship with your mother, or your mother may undergo a deep spiritual change or transformation. You may discover ways of making a real estate investment because now you'll have the energy of Shani which is the ruler of Uttara Bhadrapad in Vimshotri Dasha system. So you may seek or you may find unconventional ways of investing in real estate, but that could be also very spiritual with a spiritual foundation. So it won't be just for material gains, but you'll have good ethical and moral and spiritual uh, belief system when you're investing in real estate. Now, fourth house is naturally one of the moksha sthanas. You know, the moksha trikona is the fourth house, eighth house, and 12th house. So fourth house means literally you can awaken your kundalini and achieve moksha. That is the energy of Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. Hirbudhanya is a very is the serpent of the deep seas. So serpent is analogous to Sheshanag or Kundalini. So you can awaken your Kundalini. You have this wonderful energy, wonderful transit happening that'll force you to go within. You may want to stay at your home in a fourth house and discover deep spiritual connection with your roots, with your ancestors, with the source of the truth. Be careful, you may feel very isolated or different or unconventional to people at your home. So understand their concerns, where they're coming from, and then you have to have a balance between your need for isolation or spiritual discovery versus dealing with your family members, people at your home. So that's for the sign of Sagittarius. Next is Capricorn, rising Capricorn, Lagna Capricorn ascendant, which is Makar Lagna. For Capricorn, Rahu is going to be in your third house in the sign of Pisces. It has been in your third house since last November, but now it will move from Revati Nakshatra over to Uttar Bhadrapad as of July 5th. So there's a massive transit, big shift happening. You'll see with respect to your third house matters. Watch the intersection first. That'll give you deeper meaning and a lot of additional insights. Now, first of all, your communication style will shift completely. Rahu in Revati was more like, daydreaming and more playful kind of communication because it has the energy of Mercury. Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad, on the other hand, has energy of Shani. So you'll be more mature, more strategic, and more acting like a top management. So that energy will be there in your networking, in your communication, in your marketing, in your sales efforts, in your written communication, especially your newsletters. So all of your communication will have this, first of all, very deep spiritual foundation energy, because Ahir Budhanya, the deity of Uttar Bhadrapad, is a very, very spiritual deity. Okay. So there'll be spiritual foundation in your communication, but also very mature and long-term and practical ways of doing things. So you will actually, you'll be able to reach people at a very deep emotion, very deep connection with people you'll develop. Second is you'll be very, very courageous, but that courage will be coming from a very deep spiritual foundation. Third house represents our courage. And Rahu in Revati is more like imagination, but Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad is a very deep, solid spiritual foundation. So you'll be courageous from within. It won't be like just showing off your courage, but you'll be deeply, very mature and stable. And then that courage will show when you're dealing with day-to-day obstacles. Next is the short distance travels, say within the city. So you'll have a lot of travel within the city, but that travel will be very fruitful. It'll have a very spiritual foundation, very good results in terms of executing things, making practical gains, because now you have the energy of Shani, whereas earlier it was the energy of Rahu, and in Revati was more Mercury. So Shani is a practical planet that wants results on the ground. So you'll be able to achieve better results in your short distance travels within the city. A really wonderful, powerful time to learn some new skills. That is your third house. And those skills are rooted in the spiritual foundation, skills you may use to bring about change and transformation. And now you'll also be more mature in dealing with your younger siblings. It will, Rahu is not a very easy energy, of course, but still it'll have the foundation, the the grounding effect of Ahir Budhanya. So this will improve your relationships. Just be careful. There's no misunderstanding because you may be on this path, with Rahu in Uttara Bhadrapad, your siblings may not be on the same page. So you can have this uh, different way of looking at things, different attitude towards life now. But make sure you're very compassionate and there's no illusion, there's no misunderstanding with respect to your younger siblings. Next is Aquarius rising, Aquarius Lagna, Aquarius Ascendant, Kumbh Lagna. For Aquarius, Rahu has been transiting in your second house in the sign of Pisces, but it has been in the nakshatra of Revati until now. So as of July 5th, it will transition to the nakshatra of Uttara Bhadrapada. You'll see a sea change, a massive shift in the energy related to your second house. Watch the intersection to gain deeper understanding. So first of all, you'll see a change in the way you make money, in your wealth. You'll have unconventional, wealth and resources coming to you. Until now, you may have been making big plans with respect to your financial wealth. But now those things will give you results. You'll actually execute those huge ideas now because Uttar Bhadrapad has the energy of Shani, and Shani is a very practical planet. This will make things happen. Okay, so you'll see the results. You'll see the projects being executed on the ground. Next is Ahir Budhanya, the deity of Uttar Bhadrapad. Is a very, very spiritual deity. He's the god of the waters, of the deep seas. And so you will see more interest, or you'll have more opportunities in like ethical investing or spiritual ways of growing your family wealth. So you're still going to do things in a very unconventional manner, which is Rahu, but with a spiritual foundation. Okay. Then you may have change in your connection with your family members, extended family, that is second house. So you will be more grounded, more spiritual, more mature in dealing with your family relationships. You may still have unorthodox value system and priorities. So you'll have to have a balance, how to understand the needs and the motivation of other family members versus your own this quest for spiritual progress with Rahu in Uttar Bhadrapad. So this is a very delicate balance that you have to maintain. Next is your speech. You'll have a very mature and spiritual way of presenting things when it comes to speaking. So really powerful time to be a leader. You can literally awaken your Kundalini, your own Kundalini, but also help people rise and make spiritual progress through your speech, through your words. They'll be coming from a very deep place because Uttar Bhadrapad ruled by Ahir Budhanya, that's the wisdom from the bottom of the oceans, from the wisdom that is hidden. So you'll have access to all of that hidden secret wisdom, and you'll put that forth. You'll bring that out in the words, in your words. So your speech will be very powerful. So make use of this and help other people. This is a very powerful transit for you for the next 7.5 months starting July 5th. Next is Pisces rising, Pisces Lagna, Pisces ascendant, Meen Lagna. For Meen Lagna people or Pisces rising, Rahu has been transiting through your Lagna, a very sensitive period going on since last November. But Rahu has been in the nakshatra of Revati until now, and it will transition to the nakshatra of Uttar Bhadrapad starting July 5th. And this is a long major transit. You'll see a huge change. So this will impact you, the first house, yourself, your personality. You'll undergo a deep transformation. See, Uttar Bhadrapad is a very deep spiritual nakshatra. First of all, research. You'll want to know who you are, your self-identity. Second is spiritual foundation and interest in occult and spiritual sciences. So that will be the focus. You'll want to go deep in having a spiritual foundation in your life and also learning esoteric subjects along the way. Your entire personality will undergo a big shift that'll be characterized by depth and mystery and a deep quest for spiritual understanding. So complete change in your personality. So you may not be easily understood by other people. You may feel, you may come across as very unconventional or different, and you may have this, very magnetic personality also, which is very attractive but still unconventional and different. But it'll be charismatic presence, and that'll be coming from a very deep spiritual foundation. So that'll be very attractive. You'll be a seeker of truth. You may have a lot of desires also, about yourself, but you may also exhibit unconventional behavior. But ultimately, the bottom line is this transit is going to force you to go within, discover who you are, and you'll see a huge change and transformation in your personality, in your being, and in your goal, a spiritual goal in life. So that's all for the 12 signs. It's a massive major transit that's taking place, and it's a long transit. And but this will give us a lot of spiritual insights. Will be a fearless spiritual warrior with this transit. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And send me your comments, how you feel, how this is going, and additional feedback or additional insights that you want to share. Please share in the comment section. Namaste.